Thursday. Thanks.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. The reason I thought originally this would probably be a good get together or a good reason to get the base together, the client base together, is to talk a little bit about, first of all, Ryan's a wizard. Let's face it. If you're following these webinars on a regular basis and you look at some of the talent that comes through, some of the people that have been the Instagram examples you guys did last week, things about Facebook retargeting, and just the level of talent and skill that is here between the people who work with the company and the people who hired this company is pretty amazing. However, what happens is sometimes we get looking at that stuff and we never start from the basics. We don't get our basics down and we don't have a fundamental foundation to build our business on. And sometimes you get lost with all the really cool toys and tools and shiny things. What gets lost is that this is a vehicle to generate business. And with that vehicle, you have to have a foundation and a plan on how you're going to make it happen. So if I'm not that guy, if I'm not, super tech person, if I'm not, if I haven't been marketing for 20 years, or anything like that, what am I supposed to do, right? How do I get things rolling and what are my priorities? And so I thought it would be a really good place to start. And that's what kind of birthed what we're doing today.
Awesome.
So there's the groundwork for it. So yeah, just getting to the absolute basics, and you've heard this before and you'll hear it again. Feed the beast, get people in here to make the phone calls because they're scheduled for a reason. And then 3 is update those records so that your system is treating people the way that you want them to. And do those things so that you're moving them through the pipeline and making more clients out of prospects. And so you're feeding the beast, you're making the calls, and you're updating the records. That's really the absolute basic broad strokes of how to be successful with any system, but especially this one. And going through that, feeding the beast, what does that mean? And a lot of people could be tired of hearing the cliche about, this is a car and it's a Ferrari and you got to put gas in it and gases people, but it's true. You absolutely have to put people into the system to fuel your success. And then you need a driver. So you need to plan on where you're going with it. Every vehicle needs a driver, and this is just a vehicle for you to grow your business. So you need to plan how you're going to be successful with it. Don't get me wrong. There's people who come in here and do absolutely nothing but pump a ton of traffic through, make money, and they're happy. But usually you want to come with some kind of a goal, right? So here's the other cliche you hear from me all the time. Pipeline equals paycheck, right? Pipeline equals paycheck. So you could have this and 1,900 other things, and none of them are going to work if you're not building a pipeline for your business. Your pipeline will determine what your paycheck is. You have a big pipeline, big paycheck. You're getting paid a lot of money. You have a little pipeline, a little bitty paycheck. Teeny weeny little paycheck. And nobody's shooting for that, right? Nobody gets into real estate going, I want to make less money than I used to. So we want to make sure that, you're setting yourself up for success. So if you ever wonder, if you look and you're thinking, I'm not doing much business, look at your pipeline. There's your answer almost every time. So pipeline equals paycheck. Make the numbers work for you. If you don't put down what you want to do and make those numbers work for you, then you're just kind of a victim of the numbers, right? You're either going to be a victim of the numbers or a driver. So what this comes down to is building a business, just building a business. So let's forget for a second that this is the age of the internet right here, that we forget where we are. And let's talk about what was happening 25, 30 years ago before we had any of this. The people who were successful in insurance, in travel, in real estate, in lending, in whatever else, they didn't have the internet. Can you imagine? They didn't have the reach that you have today. Okay, so how did they have to build their business? If they started, today was your first day and you walked into the office and, hi, Mr. Broker, I'm a realtor and I'm ready to get started. And they'd say, good, I want you to sit down and I want you to write down everybody you know. That'd be the first thing they'd tell you. Who do you know? And you need to create your sphere of influence. Sit down and map it out. If you don't already have that listed out, do it now. And that's what they tell you to do. And then what happened is those people would build their business talking to those people, generating relationships and referrals. And then everywhere they went, oh yeah, my name's Bob and I'm a realtor. And yeah, you ever have any needs, here's my card. And everywhere you go, everywhere you hung out, it was about growing and growing and growing that sphere of influence. Well, we're still doing that. We're still doing that today, except now we've got this bullhorn that goes across the entire planet called the internet. So you have the ability to do what you do, but now you have the ability to do it bigger, stronger, louder, and it's easier to connect with more people. That being said, 70% of an agent's business comes from their network. So the first thing that we want to do is remember those people and make sure that we're taking care of them. But we'll get back to that in a second. So real quick, the point is your pipeline is going to determine your paycheck. Make sure that you have a good strategy on how you're going to grow that. Okay. A guy I worked with a long time ago said to me that if you don't have goals, you're a walking generalization. If you don't have goals, you're a walking generalization. In other words, you get in here, you have to have a goal. You have to set a goal for yourself and what you're going to do. So I always recommend that, you make sure that you come into what you're doing with a strong goal, okay? And we want to make sure that today we're building goals as well. So, and I'm kind of back up a little bit here and talk about conversion rates a little bit. Right now, I'd say that the average person, and you probably heard this, 0.5 to 1.5% conversion rate on the internet, maybe 0 to 2% conversion rate. Basically, if you're new and you haven't been doing this and you haven't been with us for a while and your pipeline isn't being managed by this system over a period of time, you're probably a 1% closer of internet leads through your system. It's 1%. Now, we believe you set yourself up right, you get in with us and you work your system, what's going to happen is you'll get that number to multiply. You'll start looking at, 2% or 3%. But thinking about it, 1%, so that means 100 people, you generated 100 leads. One of those people between now and 18 months from now could close. So what's funny is I said that one time to somebody and they said, good. And they generated 1,000 leads really quick. And they said, okay, here's my 1,000 leads. Where's my 10 deals? Because they hadn't happened yet. And you have to remember that. And I think Ryan, you said something about this, that when he first got into a company that he was working with, his new brokerage, his first thing his broker said is, whatever you're doing right now, you're not going to see anything for probably 6 months.
Yeah, don't expect any results. Just expect it not to work tomorrow.
That's what he told you, right? Yep. Yeah, and expecting it would be bad. That being said, you never know where somebody is in your process, and everybody can get that person who just happens to be ready right now. But no matter who you're working with, you'll find out, even when you're getting contingency leads from companies who do that, they're not sure things. They're not sure things. And their timing may look like it's today, but you're going to find out it's 9 months down the road with a lot of people. So go into this knowing that the timeline to convert a lead should be somewhere between now and 2 years.
That's awesome. And while people are looking at like the pipeline and kind of maybe digesting some of these numbers if they're newer and aren't really aware of this.
Yeah, I'd say now.
Oh, Are you there, Scott?
Yeah, you just broke up for a second.
Oh, I couldn't hear you at all. I apologize.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes.
No. I was listening to you.
Well, I was going to ask you, for those that are, coming in newer to the game or getting that refreshed mindset. So on a daily basis, you're basically saying keep building the pipeline, maintain a persistent marketing effort with the goals of which you create for yourself. And just keep in mind that for every lead or you get in now, you can have like a 6 month to a 2 year wait. So it's good to keep a consistent pipeline and habit built, right?
Exactly. And the whole idea is that if that lucky lead is out there, right? Let's say that lucky lead that's going to buy inside 90 days is out there. Your chance of running into him is a lot higher when you have a lot more leads. Does that make sense? If your volume's higher, your chance of getting those people are going to get better also.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
in other words, feed.
We may have just lost you again, Scott. Ryan, can you hear him?
Beast, the more the merrier. And just
Okay.
get everybody in that. Can you hear me?
There's something
Hello?
funky happening. Ryan, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Scott, are you on a headset?
I am.
Yeah, it seems like it's busting out, or it could be go to webinar. So everybody's live. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, it's I have brand new headset gear here, so it should be okay.
That's how technology works, right? We get it and we're like, oh.
But I do run to that. But what I'm saying is that we're not guaranteeing you're not going to run into a deal. You just don't plan on it because that's not what the odds are saying. The odds are saying that it's going to be 6 months to 2 years. You're going to start really benefiting from your pipeline. But obviously, again, the more volume now, the more chance you have of running into those lucky leads as well and getting those people who are just happen to be ready right now and for some reason didn't log into another role. So the point is that you plan now, right now, and you take action now. And the more that you delay that action, the more you're delaying your results.
Cool. All right. So
make sure that you get yourself out there and that your mindset. Sorry, go ahead. Can you hear me still?
Kind of.
Uh-oh.
So let's speak to, so you're saying plan now, take action now, don't delay your results, nurture the deal, and really don't plan on just kind of bumping into one.
Right.
So with the goal setting, when we speak to creating these goals, how do you break that down so people can get a good understanding of how they need to plan? If they're like, okay, I want to get this many leads in, but I want to close this percentage. How do we work that math out?
Great question. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure it's working. Okay, so first thing, realize everybody's a lead. Everybody. This is one of the biggest secrets. And I know it shouldn't be a secret, but it is because not everybody realizes it. Everybody you know right now and everybody you ever will know right now is a lead. Everyone. All of these people are a lead. They're either somebody who's going to do business with you, or there's somebody who knows somebody who can do business with you. So make sure that everybody knows what you're doing, that you're here for them if they have any needs, that you're here to help them, and make sure that you're getting that. If you go to the store, leave a card. Don't ever stop that kind of behavior. That is successful behavior of some of the top people, is they never, ever, ever forget that every single person you'll ever meet for the rest of your life is a prospect, and so is everybody you ever have met. So if you take that into account, it'll make your life a lot easier. So let's start off with goal setting, right? We want to make sure that we plan our work and then work our plan, right? So what we do is take that number, that 1% conversion rate, and I know some of you are way beyond this, right? Some of you may be beyond this. And what we want to do is come up with the number of money that we want to make, right? What's that number? So let's, again, I know some of you are already beyond this point, but let's just say you want to make a 6-figure income. That's my goal. I just want to make a 6-figure income in real estate, but let's do that right now. That's what I want to do. So what you would do in that case is go ahead and write down that number. Now, mathematically, the first thing you want to do is say, okay, so what's the average net take home per transaction? What's my net take home per transaction? And so again, some is higher, some are lower, but let's say for here, it's 8,000. Let's say 8,000 after my splits, feed, whatever, boom, I get 8,000 a deal. If that's your number, and you just do the math, you know, 100,000 divided by 8,000, I have to do 13 houses. I have to sell 13 sides, right, this year in order to hit that number. So, okay, that's my number. Now, if I want to get 13, and I know that out of my pipeline, it's going to take 100 deals or 100 leads for each deal on average,
right?
Then I know I need to do 1,300 prospects in my system.
It's simple. I mean, really, it's simple math and things to shoot for. That's why we're always like, try to get, a minimum 100 leads into the system in that first 30 days, and then just continually keep punching it and adding in contacts.
Yeah, build it and build it and build it and make a beast out of it. And that's the whole idea. So do your math, find the math that works for you and find out what that number is. And I know that you're 1,300, I only know 100 people.
Right.
How do I
but
do
they
that?
know people.
It's just ridiculous. It seems like such a big number. But what you'll find is that it's not as tough as you think to come up with a lot of people and then keep that snowball rolling, right? So it's like rolling a big snowball downhill and watching it get bigger and bigger and bigger. So how do we go about building it? If I'm starting from now, my first day, I'm a brand new realtor, I just got this system. Hi, what do I do? If this is who you are today, here's how we're gonna get started, okay? 5 primary ways to build yourself a pipeline. Number 1 is import people. So this is where you have to think about, who do I know, right? Who do I know and where are they at? So from here, we can go into a conversion if you want to, Annalise. So we can go into conversion. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this. From the office dashboard, you can do it. You can do a ton of stuff. But what I would do is I would go to the support portal. And this is my favorite little place to hang out. And if you'll do me a favor and go to, on the dashboard, down the left-hand side of your agent dashboard, there's a link that says support portal. And you can click on that. Now, there's one other thing you should all know before you do that. Go back for me for 1 second. Up in the top right-hand corner, my favorite thing in the world is this little question mark. This little question mark right there. If you'll click that question mark, all of you can do this. Type in the number 23.
Oh yeah, this is
Michael Jordan, okay, Michael Jordan. That's all you got to remember. Now click on that. LeBron, maybe if newer age, but I'm an old guy. I'm Jordan. So you click on 23 ways to drive leads and
Scott, I'm going to interrupt you. You did this thing the other day with Oprah. The other day, I said the same exact thing to my 8-year-old. I said, Michael Jordan, we were playing a game, and he said, who is that? I was so sad.
Oh, no.
Did you learn him up some lessons, I hope?
I just said he was like LeBron and shut up. All right.
It's when my kids started playing basketball, she'd throw the ball up in the air and yell, Kobe. And I'm like, stop it. It's Jordan. She didn't want to hear that. So anyway, so now you have 23 ways to drive in lead and sphere. This document, anybody can search this just by typing in the number 23 in that question mark up in the top right-hand corner of your dash. It is the easiest thing to do and the easiest thing to find. Everything you want is going to be sitting right there. So if I didn't know anything and I were able to come in here, I could literally learn every little bit of everything I need to scale up a sphere of influence. But let's start off with the top 5 primary ways. Now, one of the things that you're going to see here is where it says lead configuration specialist. Under tools used in section 1, click on lead configuration specialist. How many of you guys want to sit around formatting CSV sheets or Excel sheets with all of your people in it?
Not me.
So the first thing I want you to know is that one of the tools that you have to your service here is that we have people who do your lead imports for you. You just fill out a form and tell them what you want to have happen, right? So I want you all to remember this is here. We're going to jump back to it in a minute. And we're going to scroll down on how to import your contacts. Now, this is where you think about, who do I know? And in the old days, you'd have to sit down and try to remember. But today you don't have to do that, because we have a link on here on how you can download your LinkedIn contacts, how you can download your Gmail contacts. If you just scroll down a little bit, how you can download your Facebook people. Anybody you've ever stuck on the MLS, by the way, who you haven't worked with, that's somebody you could bring in as a lead. If you have worked with them, that's somebody you could bring in as a client. All of these people, anybody you've ever met is a prospect. So there's a couple things that we can do. Number one is that we can take this right here and we could start downloading these lists. All of you can download everybody you've met, any system that you've ever been on, any database of contacts or people you know. That's number one. But number two, yes, write down who you know. And look, I have a couple clients that I've been helping with this over time. Some of you guys are on Rolodexes. I know it. And before everybody starts, there are still some people who I never really moved my business online. It's still in a Rolodex. Hire a kid or use a business card scanner, which can turn it into a database sheet, or hire a kid to sit there and do the data entry and pop those guys into an Excel sheet for you so you can get them imported by our team. It's worth it.
It's such a great system too, because they work with you on what you're seeking to set up. They verify everything with you, and it's uploaded pretty seamlessly.
Yeah. So download every list of everybody you can even think of. So all those people that you're doing online, download. All of your email contacts, download. Anybody you've ever put in the MLS, download. Get everybody you can think of. And then just get a sheet, get an Excel sheet, and every day put 10 people on it. I don't care if it's 10 people you know from your, and we have a document with this that I'll send you, and you can load this up. You know, Kelly Bajarski, great coach for this company. Yep. Kelly gave us this 10 for 10 sheet. It's called a 10 for 10. And it's a 10 for 10 sheet, and I have a copy of it. I'll send it to Annalisa, and she can put it on this after. And you can sit there every day and go, okay, I know 10 people from Rotary today that I can add. And then tomorrow you go, okay, who sends me Christmas cards? I've got 10 people from Christmas cards I can do tomorrow. And the next day it might be 10 people from my kid's school. To whatever it is that you do, wherever you do it, put down 10 people a day. I'm telling you, you can get to this number faster than you know. If you downloaded every single one of these things, you did, 10 people a day, hit anything you had online, and then you jumped into your address book and you started putting those people into the system, you could. Can we really quick show people how to manually add somebody? If you've never done this before, and I know it's like we're winding back to basic training here, but in a way, that's what this is. So anybody could go to Quick Actions and hit add a lead right there. And when you add a lead, you fill out the information. If this person's a homeowner, you'll be able to go back into their profile and add their address after. But if they're your sphere of influence, we want to make sure we mark them as sphere. Okay, if you know them, we want to make sure to mark those people as sphere. Right. If they, and make a point of doing that. But you go ahead and just fill this out, put this person into your system, and poof, they become a lead right now.
And the cool thing about this is when you're manually adding someone, say this is someone that you went to college with or someone that you've worked with or something, you can add a hashtag into the manual ad right here in the notes section. So you could, like, from work, from a past life, from Starbucks, whatever you wanted to put here.
Always hashtag.
You can hashtag
every time.
Yep.
So hashtag Rotary, hashtag family, hashtag friend. And with that, there's one more thing I think we should do is just go to the desktop of the dashboard here, the main dashboard page, and just hit these categories for you one more time real quick. You'll see this list of categories where it says new and active and client and contract. And hey, for some of you who are new, who haven't really gone through this yet, right? That these are categories, right? Categories is what they types, right. Lead types, categories, but really what they are is they're categories of where you're at. This is actually a status more than it is anything. So for those of you who are saying, well, how come I can't make one of these investors? Because I work with a lot of investors. Investor isn't really a status. It's more of a category than a status.
Yeah, it's a subtype.
These are statuses, right? So think about the flow of a lead. I just met somebody. I've never spoken to them before. They just came in off of Facebook or whatever. That is a new lead. Okay, now they've responded to me. They've talked to me. We've spoken. You know, they're looking. That's an active lead. You know, now we're working together. We're actually looking at houses. That's a client. You know, the next step is, okay, now we have a contract at a home. That's contract. So what happens is this is just a natural flow of a lead relationship, right? You start off, I don't know you. Next thing you know, you go, okay, you're talking to me. Okay, we're working together. Okay, we have a contract. Okay, we've had a closing. And then after you've gone through your closing process, now they go into your sphere. You hashtag them past client and you move them into sphere. This is the natural life cycle, the sales life cycle of a real estate lead. So that's why you're categorized that way. The reason I point that out is it's really important when we're importing leads to make sure that you put in the right category, the right status for each one of those leads. So if we can go back to the form real quick, to the import form. And with this, just go ahead and hit accept and next, because of course, we're just gonna accept. So anyway, you fill this out right here and you put your name and information, and then all you gotta do is hit that choose file and browse in that download that you have. From there, you just tell them, okay, I want all leads assigned to me underneath that browse. All the leads are mine, for example, because they probably will be. I'm not sharing these with my lender because it's my personal sphere. In this case, we're gonna pretend we're doing LinkedIn leads, right? LinkedIn leads. Then you go down to the next one and say, okay, where are these exported from? You're gonna hit other and put in your LinkedIn. Below that, really important, lead status for each contact. So unless you're creating your own sheet and you already have the status of all these people individually listed out, I like to import them by how I know them. So this is my LinkedIn import only. So I would import as status sphere. So if you hit click the import as status button, you'll see your options come in right there. So now I would pick sphere. This is my sphere of influence or my LinkedIn people. Then you go ahead and I would say, no, these aren't seller leads. I don't have addresses. I'm not, now this is a choose your own adventure area. If you wanted to, you could take your whole sphere and just start sending real estate listings to them that match what you think their criteria is. What I might do is import them all, and then I would send them my mobile app, and my website is their safe place to search afterwards by mass email or mass text, which is how I'm more likely to do it. So then in the bottom of there, it's going to say, please tag all leads and contacts with the following. And you can tell them, okay, hashtag LinkedIn. And so here we are with this is it. You just did an import. All you got to do is on the bottom, it says what should happen with the import. And that's where I describe what the end result would be. My LinkedIn contacts would be imported to my sphere, hashtag LinkedIn. End of story. So with that, you could go ahead and submit. And now this goes to our team, and our team will take and do the import for you. So you're not having to sit there and map Excel sheets and just do stuff that you don't want to do. So that's why we have a lead configuration specialist team. They will take care of this for you. Let them do it. Get it to them. So number one, import. Import everybody you ever met. Let's get all of them set up with your website. And here's why this is important, because a lot of you are like, well, my friends, my family, I don't want to bring them into my site and system because I don't want to send them a bunch of goofy stuff that, you know, makes them not want to be my friends and family anymore. And don't worry about that. If you're importing people into the right categories, that should never happen. If you're importing people into sphere, the only thing they should ever be seeing without you putting them on something else would be your sphere of influence newsletter that comes with your Conversion Plus system. And that's nothing but some marketing stats in your blog, and it can be as good as your blog is. That's your newsletter. So import all of them. If you're not giving people a safe place to go search for listings, where do you think they're going to go? Everyone you know, everybody that you've ever met, chances are at some point they go look at pictures of houses for sale. I looked for 18 months before I did anything here where I'm at now. So you want to make sure you're giving them a trusted place to go. Make sure they're searching with your site. Make sure they're searching with your mobile app, because if not, they're going to Google. And when they go to Google, they are either getting their data bought or sold every time they do it. So it's either they're going to the paid ads and somebody's buying their information, or they're going to, one of the big portals, Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, etc. And those guys are selling their information to other realtors. So your friends, your family, your contacts are getting all their data bought and sold to other realtors unless you're giving them a safe place to go. Make absolutely sure that you're incubating those people with your tools. That's one of the reasons you want to import everybody, is that you want to make sure you're giving them, hey, a lot of my friends and family are looking for safe places to search for homes where they're not going to get their data bought and sold all over the internet and get 15 phone calls over dinner. Here's my mobile app. Here's my website. Make these your safe places to search. I won't share your information with anyone outside my team without your permission. So make sure that you're providing them that safe place to search. So that's importing. That's number one. First thing everybody should do. Import everybody you possibly can. Don't start off with a pebble. Start off with a full-blown snowball. Get that thing going downhill. Number two is embed. So some of you already spend money or invest money, we'll call it, with Realtor.com, with Zillow, with tons of other companies. And if you're one of those people, we have an area in your agent dashboard for embed. So Annalisa, if we could go up to the top right-hand corner and click on the name of whoever's in that dashboard. It's yours. Awesome. And from here, you have an embed link, the fourth one down, and we click on embed, and it gives us, scroll down just a wee bit. There's the QR codes. Okay, there you go. Do you get leads from other sources? Scroll back up a touch. There you go. Do you get leads from other sources? So you can take those Realtor.com leads that you get, for example, and you can use this import agent email address and go plug it in. We'll even give you instructions. The link just above that will not only break down instructions, but you can see all the other companies that you may work with that we can import your leads from automatically. So those leads could come from, say, Realtor.com or Zillow or whoever, and we already have API for it, meaning we already have the ability to make it work with your system. If you scroll down, there's this beautiful list right here. See this list right here? All of these sources that you may be working with right now, we can make those leads come into the system, get set up on the MLS automatically, behaviorally monitor them, schedule calls when it's time to get them, watch them for you, let you know when they're clicking on the same listing 5 times or whatever behaviors should be alerting you and scheduling phone calls. So we can work your leads from whatever other sources. Use your embed. If you have any other sources, make sure they're getting worked by this system. Plug them in. Now, the third one is to invest, right? We can invest. So also from your agent dashboard, you can go to your marketplace. So this is where you want the easy button, right? Look, I don't have time for a bunch of stuff, but I got my sphere in and I plugged in my sources. I don't have time to do a bunch of social posting or any of that other stuff, but I can definitely throw a few dollars at leads. And so that's when you can get, Facebook leads for as little as a couple $100 a month, or Google leads for 500 or whatever a month. Core property boost, especially if you have listings, is something that you should take a look at and get a tour of. Different things that you can do if you have money to invest. You can go ahead and see how it works. Now, just to give you a cool tip, is down on the bottom left-hand corner, if you click on your learning portal, Annalisa, you're awesome. Thank you for being the mouse.
You're welcome.
On here, if you hit K+ Team Platform, that's you. and scroll down a little bit. Look at that. There's a tour. You can get a tour and actually get a preview of how this stuff works before you actually do it, which is super cool. So you can basically learn how we do these things and what are the tools we have, how do they work, so that you understand them better before you go to, figure out whether or not it's something you want to do. You can actually learn about it first. It's kind of cool. So just know that you can go tour these things, that's in there. So we've talked about importing. That's number 1. 2, make sure that you're using your embed links to include any other sources you have. 3, you can invest. You can throw a few bucks at something. Number 4, integrate your world into your plan. Integrate your world into your plan. And what I mean by that is, everybody for the rest of your life is going to be a prospect, right? Everybody you ever meet. There's a lot of different ways to be that person who, I don't know, you ran into somebody in the bar and you gave them a business card, right? Or, there's a modern version of that. It's called online. And, it's called your email signature, and all these other things. So there's a whole bunch of things that you do in your world right now. You can integrate your offline marketing with your online marketing very easily. So one of the first things that I always recommend is that you take your subdomain and you buy yourself your own domain name. So if, Annalise, you would be kind enough to go to your dashboard real quick and then click on view my website. On the left-hand side, website, and view my website. And if I'm describing where to go for you, I apologize. I do this all the time. It probably drives my customers nuts. And Rick Astley, I love it.
I just got
Rickrolled.
Everybody did.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Look at that. Points to Annalisa. But on your website, you'll see that it's annalisa.orangecomls.com. So it's just with your agent site is on a subdomain. It is yourname.company.com. Now, there are some organizations that aren't going to do this, okay? Some of them are, we all just have, we're going to stick with our name and we're going to push the company brand. But for most of you, what's going to happen is you should go buy your own domain name. So let's say that it's annalisasellswashington.com, for example,
okay,
just because I need one.
No pressure.
So it's annalisasellswashington.com, okay? So what I would do is I would go to, let's say you got it at GoDaddy. You can sign into GoDaddy, go to Domain Manager, Management, go to Domain Forwarding, paste this in there, annalisasellswashington.com. You would take your annalisa.ecomls and paste it into that box, your subdomain, and save it. Do not mask, never mask a domain with us, bad idea. But what'll end up happening is when they go to annalisasellswashington.com, it'll show up here on your website, on your subdomain. So that way, and the importance of that is that, look, your whole life, you are your brand. Welcome to real estate. You are the product. You are your brand, right? What you need to do is make sure that you are creating that brand, that you're putting that brand on everything. And this is going to be your brand for life. If you go by your domain name, you own it and you put it on this website and boom, when people go there, they go there. But it's your domain. And the more you push your domain, the more you invest in it. And you will invest more if it's your domain, won't you? So own your domain, forward it here, and then get it integrated into everything you do. Now, starting with your email signature, right? Now, you don't just put annalisasellswashington.com in your email signature.
No.
We want to give them a reason to go there, right? So a call to action. And a call to action, the best way to do this, and I was trying to explain this and I was stumbling over the book with Ryan the other day, is that there's a book from, I think it's Burton Purvis, is I think the two authors of it. And the book was called Which Ad Pulled Best. And what they did was they sat with George Gallup, like Gallup and Robinson, the first real company that took numbers and crunched them and analyzed what people did to see what worked. They were pollsters, right? And they just crunched these numbers to it's like Mad Men, but better. And they took these numbers to help determine what was successful and what wasn't, and what kind of trends are happening. And in this interview, the guy says, hey, give them the benefit. Don't obscure the benefit. Make the benefit easy to see. Make the benefit personal. It's always about the benefit to the consumer. It's what's in it for me, right? So what is in it for me to go to AnnalisaSellsWashington.com? And the answer is very simple. Pictures of houses for sale. That's what they're looking for. We know because the NAR and a bunch of other people are out there saying, hey, why are you going to the internet to look for homes? And they're saying it flat out. Pictures of houses for sale. So we want to make sure, see photos of all homes in Washington at AnnalisaSellsWashington.com, or you can get other domains. You can even be more specific, right? But get that domain name on everything. Get it on your voicemail. Hi, this is Annalisa. I'm not available right now. I'm with a client, but will return your call as soon as I'm back. In the meantime, go to my virtual office on AnnalisaSellsWashington.com, where you can see all the homes for sale in the MLS. Done, right? And so if somebody's going down a list, I want them to stop and go look at my site. You want to get your domain name on everything, every pen, trinket, trash item, magnet, whatever it is you do. Make sure that you're not just giving them your domain name on there, but a reason to go there. Make it yours, make it personal, and make it consistent. So integrate your offline marketing with your online marketing. Best way that I love doing that is through custom text codes. So if we were to go back into the site again and go to lead gen, you see here, I'm sorry, back to the dashboard, go to leads, and go to lead generation and go to custom text codes. So scroll to the very bottom first. There you go. If you look at the very, very bottom in that dark bar at the bottom of the page there, you're going to see where it says have leads text Annalisa to 845-875. There's a phone number down there. That number is your smart number. That number knows all of the leads in your database, so that if they know what text codes are yours. That smart number knows what listings are yours. The smart number is awesome. But if I were to text Annalisa to 845-875-4837, this would automatically send me back a link to download her Millions Map mobile app. Hers. The branded went to her. So meaning that all responses are just going to be to her. Mm-hmm. So that's going to get me her Millions mapped. So in your email signature, right, would you want to search like a realtor does? Get the mobile app. Text Annalisa to 845-875-4837. Get that in there. Just like you would on a sign writer, right? You would create a custom text code. Easiest thing to do in the world. And if you go up, any flyer you do, any sign writer, any door hanger, anything like that, if Annalisa, you'd be so kind as to go back up to custom text codes, hit add new. And I could just very simply get buy, B-U-Y is the code, buy. And then I could put in an MLS ID. So put A23578. I just made that up, so thanks. But if that's an MLS ID, what'll happen is if somebody texts the word buy to your smart number, it's going to send them to your MLS ID, to your listing within your website. It's going to send them a link to the listing within your website. So if I have flyers just listed, if I have door hangers, if I have, anything like that, and I'm advertising a listing, I can also do a sign writer. I could, see all photos and details of this property, text buy to 555-1212 or whatever your smart number is. And it'll send them a link to see that property, right? So this is really good.
And the cool thing is that even when you're utilizing this in your signature, on your sign writers, don't forget you can also leverage these custom text codes in Craigslist, because you can't embed links in Craigslist. So you can build these custom text codes in, and I used to be like, show me the money, text show me the money. If you're a neighbor and you're looking for ideas of what your home might be worth or your property might be worth in your area, text this code to this number. So I would drop in little tidbits for people who might be nosy neighbors on Craigslist, kind of checking out what's for sale, as well as people who think they might not qualify for down payment assistance grants. I mean, you can create codes for pretty much anything you want.
And if you'll hit edit on that first one we just did, the little edit button. Now let's say that you did this buy and you did it on a listing and you spent money on a sign writer, okay, to go with the sign, and it's text buy to your smart number for all photos and details. Well, what's cool is if you sold that house, I can edit now. I can come in here and change the MLS ID to a different listing I have, and I could go use the same sign and writer. So there's all kinds of fun stuff. Be creative with custom text codes. It doesn't have to be a listing. It can be a link to anything. It can be a listing, your home value, in fact. You could use My Home's Value, that your sell page that has a home value capture in it. And you can create an email signature link that says, what's your home worth? Get an instant valuation, text value to 800-555-1212, and you can have it go right there and get more home valuations filled out. So there's all kinds of different things you can do with text codes. Remember, you can learn about any of those things by going to the top right of your dashboard, clicking on the question mark and typing in a word. If I click text codes in here and hit search, it's going to show up. And here's your results.
And I do want to point out
custom text codes.
When you do put custom text codes out there and people respond who are not in your database yet, so which is typically people through Craigslist, or maybe you put a sign writer out there that has a code. These are going to land within leads.
Text leads.
Text leads. So make sure you're popping in down this side and popping into your text leads, because this is where those folks are going to land. And like when I used this initially, I don't know, almost 2-3 years ago, I created a code called Beast Whisperer to text this and get to a training class with me, which is no longer in place. But what it'll show you is exactly what they were requesting when you create these custom text codes. So when you build this information in and put a little sweat equity into it initially, you're going to have the immediate results, so you know exactly of which they were inquiring. Instead of going, hey, I'm calling about that place on Craigslist you had, and you're like, oh, which one? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Well, you can build in that code to speak to a specific property or item.
Beautiful. So again, integrate your offline marketing with your online marketing through custom text codes, through calls to action with your domain name, and you can buy additional domain name. You could create, if you wanted to, a squeeze page for Windermere Home Values, and then you could go buy windermerehomevalues.com and point it there, to that page. You can do different things to be, you could create whole new landing pages and put domains to those. There's a ton of things that you can do to make this work. Finally, we've looked at importing leads, embedding, and getting leads in from other sources. We've looked at investing into traffic. We've looked at integrating your offline marketing into your online. Now we're going to look at social marketing quickly, because I know we're pushed on time. Now, not going to go through an entire social marketing tour, because we actually have one in your learning portal. Anytime you want to go there, in your learning portal, you click on that, and there is a beautiful training sitting there right now. Hit K+ Team Platform, please. A simple social media posting protocol that generates leads and referrals.
This is gold.
Go there. Do this. It's worth it. Go do the training. Learn how to do it. There's also a wealth of information on how to do Facebook ads, on how to do just postings to begin with. But if you ever decide that you want to do the paid ads, you can learn how to do those things here too. It is a wealth of knowledge that is here at your fingertips. But let's look at the tools real quick for social marketing. So now let's go look at squeeze pages. It's the fastest thing and the easiest thing in the world. if you're one of those people who get intimidated by some of this stuff, because I just keep hearing squeeze page, landing page, social marketing, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you're just like, man, I'm not that guy. You know, I'm just not that technically savvy. First of all, I'm 55. Okay, so I don't want to hear about your age. What I want to hear about is that you can fill out this form, because it's that easy. So if we go over up here to source and start off on that, and let's say that the source, the place that I'm going to market this is going to be, I'm going to do Facebook reduced, and actually stop, click into area real quick, and hit N. I think it's going to be Nyack, right? That's where we're going to be, like Nyack, something like that. No?
Well, there's Nyack, Chester, Warwick,
Pick
Orange
a city.
County.
You pick a city.
Okay, this is a good one.
All right,
That's
there you
my
go. Click
go-to.
on Warwick. Okay, now Warwick. Now you can FB reduced Warwick up there. And now I'm going to copy that and paste the same thing in the hashtag. My source and my hashtag will match. I'm good to go. Next, I've got my city in, single family. If you're in a big condo heavy area, make sure you click and add condos as well. And then options. This is the cool thing. You can have a page for your website that is only the just listeds or only the open houses in Warwick Township, or you could do only the reduced priced homes or golf course homes or whatever. I like reduced. Reduced gets clicks.
Yes.
So I would click on reduced, and now I can go down to the bottom and I can hit build link. Now you want to go ahead and allow, I'm immediate on this.
I go immediate as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this is your listing or something, you'd want your seller, that would be different. But go ahead and hit build link.
Yeah, and just as a reference,
poof.
if it's your own listing, there is a single property squeeze builder here, where you can do delays as well.
Yeah,
And
then you let them look at a
listing
couple things before they go, if it's your listing. But go ahead and hit build link. And now this link down here is a big giant link with that you could paste into the browser, and it'll show you nothing but the reduced priced homes. Now that is kind of a long link, so that won't fly with something like Twitter anyway, right? However, you can go to bit.ly, bit.ly, and if you do bit.ly, it'll let you paste in your link and actually shorten it. You can shorten your link.
There we go. And to show everyone what it looks like, I'm going to pop into one of our discussion groups.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can actually paste that link into Facebook and it'll make a post for you. So if you're brand new, right, and it's like, I don't know, this is all over it. No, it's not. Fill out the squeeze page form. And you don't even, for Facebook, you don't even have to use a link shortener. You just paste it in there, backspace out whatever you had there, and poof, there is a reduced priced home posting that you can now share with your entire group and get some clicks and get people active.
And there's like a little thing with Facebook sometimes, it does not load the preview image, so just be aware of that. It's not something we have control over on our end. So as long as you see your domain or subdomain here, so you can see my annalisa.orangeecomls.com, as long as you see this and this line here, yeah, you can add a photo or you can post it and it'll show a preview after you post.
What's also cool, if you click your mouse on that photo right now.
Oh, whoops, I just hit that, sorry. You could have chosen a different photo, yeah.
You can drag the photo off and drag a new one in if you wanted to as well. But hey, look, you have a social post, it's out there. If you took that and all you did was do one thing like that every day, right? Either a listing you like or reduced or just listeds or open houses or golf course homes or whatever, and you do one of those a day and stay consistent, you're going to generate more deals this year just because you did that, and it only takes a few minutes.
And these links don't expire.
No, they're permanent.
Yeah.
That's forever. So what I usually do now is I'll go make a custom text code out of that link also, and it'll save it in my dashboard for me. So I'll go, I will call it something like, what city was it?
Warwick.
Okay, Warwick deals. And I know it's reduced, right? So you could do Warwick reduced or Warwick deals, and then you can paste the link in there and save it. And now you can also use it as a custom text code. Would you like to see all reduced price homes in Warwick? Text Warwick deals to, give them your smart number and bang. you get them back to you. So there's two ways to go about doing this. So you also have landing pages. We're not going to get in landing pages today. That's a whole training on its own. But social posting is
could
a
you hold on 1
no-brainer.
second?
Sure.
1 second. I did want to bring up the fact that, when we were speaking to this source code up here,
Oh yeah.
the source code ties into these advertising results. So when you're looking at the lead gen on this left side and advertise stats, or if you go to the very bottom of this page when you access your squeeze pages and custom text codes, that's where your advertising results live. And if you're doing like A to B testing, like what worked, what didn't, what should I tweak, how are things performing, you can go in and kind of see that source code, how many visits, how many leads, what was the sign up rate. And mine's pretty sparse because it's my test account, but this gives you an idea of where you can locate those advertising results if you're kind of keeping an eyeball on that. And you can also look at different months.
Yep, what works? What works, right? Which one's working the best? You can measure your results right there. So just to summarize and kind of peel back for a second, look, you must feed the beast. You must start this pipeline. You should have your entire sphere of influence in here and 2 consistent sources to feed, meaning you can do paid and social, or you can do social and open houses. You could go work open houses and use the open house tool off of your mobile app, right? You can, but you have to have 2, right? You could, let's say you're big on a networking event and you come up with, 30 names all the time, or write down 10 names a day, like we were talking about before. All of those things, out of all of those things, you need to have 2 of them that are really, really, really consistent, and make sure that you're doing them. If you're doing those, consistently, you're going to build a great pipeline. And the longer you do that in your career, the better off you're going to be. So start off with feeding the beast. Make sure you have at least 2 really good sources, plus import your entire sphere of influence, and make sure that you're getting everybody in to your dashboard. Everybody. 2 sources plus your entire sphere. Before we're done, any last questions?
I mean, yeah, sounds like a breeze. No, there's a little footwork to go in. However, I think everyone knows who they're probably percolating right now, going, okay, I know who I need to write down. So just basically coming up with a plan of action on what you want to tackle first, I think right now.
Sure. And I just sent you, by the way, Annalisa, the email. I said I was going to send you that 10 for 10.
Oh, cool. I'll drop it on the doc here.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Kelly Bajarski for bringing that to the table, because we all talked about it, but she's the one who came through with the stuff. She is amazing. So anyway, I like our coaches. So Kelly Bajarski, 2 thumbs up. Thanks for creating the 10 for 10 doc. So there's a 10 for 10 doc that you can use and edit, and can we get that attached to the?
Yeah, I will, for sure.
Awesome.
I just don't want to open up my Slack or my email right now.
No, I wouldn't do it either. But anyway, thank you very much. Again, plan to succeed, right? Sphere plus at least 2 sources, and have a goal. Go in there knowing what you want to create and make the math work for you. Work the numbers on the math, and you should have great results. That's all I have.
Awesome. Well, I think that was pretty thorough, and I hope everyone had some good ideas or inspiration today on how to go forward and building up their pipeline. Anything to add, Ryan, before we close out? I think he's back.
Nice job, Beth.
All right, awesome. Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Well, I do encourage everyone to, if you're on the discussion groups, if you want to join via the K+ dashboard, you can do so really easily just by clicking join our Facebook group here on the upper, well, usually it's on the upper right, but it says blue tile. There's a lot of amazing information shared there and networking and idea playing off each other. So I really encourage you to join there. We post all of these recordings in the groups. We send them out via email, and we anchor them into the chat. So there's many different ways in which you can access these. And then all of these little conversations are things we have sent that we believe you should be aware of. So maybe if you pop in here and you see some italics, you're like, ooh, I need to catch up. Watch a couple of these a day, and that'll catch you up on everything new we have pushed out. So this is an important thing to double check as well. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.